5D is a softest call, a call of love. It's soft, it's very soft. It's a call of love, but in one of the most fierce ways. The time is, as the time is passing by, it's getting more fiercer and fiercer. It's of course at the end of the day, it's a call of love. It's your God is calling you, your Shiva is calling you, to come into the new world, to come into the 5D. It's for everyone. Okay, he's calling you, but not everyone can hear him. You know, not everyone can hear him. Many are unconscious, many are distracted, many are in their own life dramas and stuff like that. But he is calling you, is calling you. It's the softest call, but the way in which he's calling you will get fiercer and fiercer and fiercer. It's getting more and more fiercer day by day, year by year, moment by moment. He's calling you into the new earth to dissolve. Why dissolve? I know, I there was a time in point of time in my life, maybe like 7 8 years ago, 10 years ago. I remember I just so much wanted to dissolve into the sky, and I have no idea how that technology works. But I just so much want to dissolve into the sky. I've always loved skies, and I just wanted to be dissolved into the sky. By the way, there's such a beautiful rainbow that's occurring here, right? I wish they never told me about science. You know, and now I know the light gets refracted, and a rainbow is formed and everything. But what if I was never told about it? I would think that it's still magic, you know. So yeah, they take away, the child's, yeah, science, school. They take away child's, the magic. They just take it away. Now I know the light gets reflected and all of that, but it's still somehow magic. A white light has 7 colors in it. Isn't it magic? But why didn't it tell us that way? They told us it's like it's a science. Everything is logic. There's nothing outside logic. They will. Oh, I hated science. I was a science student, by the way. Yeah, yeah. Though I liked science. I mean, okay, we should not get into that. Let's just come back to the topic. Let's just come back to the topic. So yeah, I what I really meant to say was that, yeah, I'm just checking if the mic is on. We are being called to dissolve. I remember there was a point of time in my life when I wanted to dissolve, and I just wanted to dissolve into the sky, and I really didn't know how and what that technology works. But there was a time, because I wanted to dissolve, because it was just too much. It was one of the phase of my spiritual awakening journey, right? I would say that my spiritual awakening, you know uh, I think I was in very much an unconscious state of my spiritual awakening. My spiritual awakening is happening, but that's quite unconscious, right? But there came a point in 2023 when I would say that yes, my spiritual journey, my spiritual awakening journey is now very conscious. I'm very conscious of where I'm not very conscious. I know there are still parts that I don't know, that I don't understand. But yeah, I am I'm still getting a hold of it, right? But at that point of time it was very unconscious, right? So there was a time I would look up to the sky, and I just so much bloody wanted to dissolve into it, and I would never understand why I would get this feeling. And this is not because, of course, my life is like completely up and down, and but and I'm really into pain, but you know, uh, But I knew why that pain was. That pain was because of my that pain was of the ego, you know. Almost all pains are of the ego. All pains are of the ego. I was in my ego. I was in a lot of pain, and I wanted to dissolve. You know, I just so much wanted to dissolve. And 5D is like that. New Earth is like that. You would want to dissolve yourself. You don't want to be in that identity. Identity brings a lot of pain. Identity of beliefs, identity of emotional responses, that this is my identity and this is how I react emotionally. This is what I am, this is what my personality is. These are, this is how I operate. All these are my biases, these are my stereotypes, all this identity. I just wanted to be free of that, and I could never consciously put it into words, but that was a feeling that I ever had in my life some 7 8 years ago. I just so much wanted to resolve myself. I didn't want to be in this energy. I just didn't want to be in this energy. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by the girl in my neighborhood. She's playing. I just love to watch her play by her own self. I would also do that. So yeah, it just reminds me of my childhood. So yeah, let me just keep my concentration here. So I just so much wanted to be dissolved. I didn't want that pain of ego. I didn't wanted those pains. I didn't want. I didn't want those pains, right? And yeah, yeah, suffering is not, we think that suffering is external, but it's just only, reflecting you your ego triggers. Okay, it's ultimately reflecting you your ego triggers. That pain just felt, I don't know if you have felt that, like that. See, there are different kinds of pains. There's certain kind of pain that make you feel little itchy and frustrated, you know and there is certain kind of pain which bring you really peace. Those were that kind of pain. Spiritual awakening, you go through those kind of pain that they really bring you, peace. Like the first time in your life you have seen your pains, you have seen your burdens, and you want them to be dissolved. So that was how it was for me. you know So yeah, Shiva is calling us to dissolve. Shiva is calling us to dissolve. Just wanted to add up some stuff here that you know I used to live by my traumas. I used to live by my past. The past energy was heavy in my present. The future energy, the anxieties of future energy was heavy in my present. So I just wanted my present to be liberated, and and that was a feeling that I had, like I wanted to dissolve into the sky, you know. It was such a weird feeling, but and of course I felt weird, like why am I feeling so strongly like that? But now I know, like, why. it was, that feeling was a way of me telling me that, you just don't want much of your identity now. you know you're feeling so burdened by your identity. The fears that I had taken from my past, they were coming into my present. The anxieties of future was coming into my present. It was such a tumultuous time for me. Everything was like up and down, up and down, down and up, upside down and downside up. And I never knew where to put my foot on. I always describe my spiritual journey as there was a point in my life where I never knew where to put my foot on. Where can I really put my foot on? You know, sometimes we use faith, we use belief system as our crutch, you know, but I was like, I am not doing that even. I'm not going to believe in God, until I really feel the truth, until I really see the truth. If that is the truth, that should come to me. That hard I played, you know, um, for my spiritual journey. And now of course I do feel God. Now of course I do feel him, you know and now of course I do know the truth. you know and and of course there are whole stages of truth, that I want to get into, and even embody it. That's again a different journey, right? So I wanted to come into my present, where I am free to be me, what I want to be me. I don't want to be controlled and manipulated by my own fear. I don't want to be controlled and manipulated by my own anxieties of the future. I wanted to be in the present. I That was the feeling that I got, when I felt like I wanted to dissolve into the sky. It was a very weird feeling that I had. And, I would just look up to the sky and I felt like I just strongly desired that, you know. But yeah, it's like that, you know. Life is like that, you know. Um, yeah. And it's an invite to you all as well. Why would you want to be in the pain of the ego? Why would you want to be in the pain of the ego? Would you not want to dissolve and know the truth? you know it's your identity. Don't you want to, leave your identity? Don't you want to be, you know with with your soul tribe? you know don't you want to, yeah, don't you want to be around happy people? Don't you want to be, happy amongst the happy people? you know it's a call to dissolve. It's very difficult for me to explain what dissolving is, because it's such a feeling, like, ego just wants to stand out, in 3D, in the 3D world, we just want to stand out, we just want to be seen. But in 5D, I don't want to be seen. In New Earth, I I just want to be one of that. I just want to be one of those trees in the forest, just one of those trees in the forest. I don't want to be seen anymore, you know. I, yeah, I just want to be a part of the nature. I don't want to be, I don't want any power, you know, what in the 3D world. How ego wants you to have power play. Ego wants you to have power. But in the 5D, in the new earth, I just want to be a part of the play. Just want to be very ordinary. Just want to be, you know, yeah, just want to be so ordinary. Just, yeah, I don't want to be special anymore. You know, I don't want to be, I never wanted to be special at any point in my life. I don't think so. Ever I wanted to be special. I just wanted to be me. I would look at others and I would see how hard they would try to be special. how they would, how hard they tried to, you know stand out. And I just wanted to be seen for who I am. That was what I wanted, and but I was just so scared to be me, whatever. Yeah, it's just so difficult to explain what dissolving is. You know how forest is an ecosystem. Everybody has a role to play, and you can never say, I mean, of course ego can say lion is the king of the jungle. You know why? Because he kills, right? He appears to be the masculine one, but we need every fucking being out there. From earthworm is also the king of the jungle. It's an ego, who wants to tell that no, lion is the king of the jungle, but it's not. Lion is not the king of the jungle. Everyone is a king out there, everyone is a queen out there. Everyone, that's dissolving. And a forest has an ecosystem of its own. Do you know that scientists had really performed an experiment where they really put soil into a jar, and they put some trees and stuff like that. They made a mini forest into a crystal jar or something, and that was able to sustain itself. That is what new earth is. That is what 5D earth is, where everyone is dissolved into the other. No one plays a special role. Ego would want to say that, oh, the lion is masculine, it kills. But but what about the deer? you know who would lion kill if it never had a predator? I mean, if it never had a prey, who would lion kill? Everything is just so important, from prey to predator, from earthworm, because that ultimately that is the one who eats lion when he's dead and dissolves it into the soil. That is our ultimate nature, to dissolve. you know we came, and then it's time to dissolve. you know I don't know if I'm able to really explain you what dissolving is. you know I tried my best to explain it to you, and I just so much wanted to be that. I just wanted to be dissolved, because ego was so heavy to carry. My identity was so heavy to carry, my traumas were so heavy to carry. They would come every time in between. There was a struggle every time in between that would stop me to be me. you know yeah, it's a call to dissolve. It's then I worked over those fears, I worked over those insecurities, I worked over those doubts with the grace of Shiva. I could have never done it alone. I could have never done it alone. It was always him, who was there, who guided me. He never saved me, he always guided me. Always. He guided me how to do it, how to stand up, or how to clear my own karmas. you know he showed me. He really, yeah. I thought that the world needs to be saved, but no. I always thought that the world needs to be saved, I need to be saved. For the most part of my life, especially as a child, because I used to see these superhero movies, and one part of me always had a fantasy that I wanted to save the world. And I still have that. Yeah, and I can't help it. But, but what I've, but on my spiritual journey, what I've really realized, what Shiva has actually taught me is that I am just so powerful that I don't have to be saved. That's what I learned. That's what I learned from my journey. When I saw myself, he was just beside me. I knew his presence was there, and I knew I had to clear up my own karmas. I knew I had to, you know, I had to work on myself. I had to transform myself, and I did all of that. You know, and I did it with the help of Shiva. I did it with the help of universe. Universe gave me, you know, lessons. Universe gave me this situations, and I worked through that. And it's such an inner work. Everybody would call me stupid, for being into spirituality. Like, why would you be into spirituality? It is for the old. Some of them still tell me, like, why are you so much into it? People have always judgments to make, you know, but this is what I really wanted to do always. You know, they are making the choice of not choosing. They don't love themselves. That is why they will never choose spirituality. you know I think people who love themselves really choose spirituality. And spirituality is not about learning powers, how they would say that you can open your third eye. It's not like that. you know One, yes, of course, people have told us spirituality is about opening your third eye, getting all your chakras open, and seeing something magical. No, it's just making your life easy. Spirituality, for me, spirituality has always been about making my life easy. No, 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 no. I mean, yes, some part of it is also like making my life easy, but it was also my inherent curious nature. I wanted to know the truth. I wanted to know the magic of life. You know, I was just always a curious one, and it was all in my inherent nature to know life, to know the truth, to discover God. Yeah, I just always felt beautiful around doing such things. I just always felt childlike. I just always felt like a soul. I never wanted to be a part of the world, that is running after, you know, creating an image of themselves. Everybody is trying to create an image of themselves, so that they are liked and validated by others. And I just hated the whole idea. Even as a kid, I always hated the idea that I have to be somebody, to get validated. I want to be dissolved. And now I do see and I do feel the new earth. And I know. And the more and more, you meet and see your soul tribe, you know, because that starts to happen to you, after your spiritual awakening, that starts to happen to you. You start meeting people, you start getting, know people who choose to love themselves, you know, who choose truth, you know, that starts to happen to you. And when that starts to happen to you, you feel like, now I do finally feel like, yes, I'm dissolving. Yes, I feel like, wow, I'm one of them. And I was just so happy, so first, when I had an intuition. I was guided and I was told that, you will meet your soul tribe, you know, uh, eventually. But I was so much in, I was, I was in some other state of my mind, and I was like, no, I don't want to. I was like, please leave me alone. I swear, I said those statements. I said those statements. I was like, what the hell is happening with me? I don't want to meet anyone. I don't want to see anyone. I thought that I am the only weirdest person on this planet. But then I started seeing other weird people on the planet too, and why we felt weird, because we were very in, because we were operated from within. We weren't operated from the programming. So people saw us as weird, and I saw myself as weird. I thought I was weird because I am not doing what others are doing. I feel something internally and I go by that. And everybody thought I was weird. I would, in the middle of something, I would just feel like getting up, going out, and just doing some sort of a ritual out of nowhere, some fire ritual out of nowhere, you know. I would just, cancel on things, or I would just always had different opinions, where everybody had a certain kind of opinion. I always had a different opinion. So they always saw me as weirdo, and I saw myself as weirdo. And then I was like, I'm the only weirdo alive. But then they told me, now you're going to meet your soul tribe. You're going to meet people like you. I was guided onto that. And then I was like, I literally said those statements. No, I don't want to meet anyone. I don't want to know anyone. I am just happy alone. Please leave me alone. I swear those were my statements at some point of time in my life. That's what I told. You can call spirit guides, you can call whatever you want to say. And please don't be in delusion. I mean, it took me a lot of work on myself, a lot of work on, I was really skeptical. There was literally a time in my life when I never knew where to put my foot on. I really meant that. And that gave me tremendous anxiety, where I never knew what to believe in. I was like, until I know the truth, I cannot believe this. Just because everybody believes it, I cannot believe this. I want to know the truth myself. I want to see it myself. I want to feel it myself. I was that kind of a person. And trust me when I say that, it gave me a whole lot of anxiety. I don't know if you can. I had some crazy imbalances in my body. My health really deteriorated through that period, because I was in that. I never knew where to put my foot on. I swear when I say that. I was so skeptical. And then of course I started connected. I mean, of course I thought that I was weird my entire life. But then I gradually, at a certain point, I knew that no, I am not weird. This is true. Some things are true, you know. And I still do check with myself: am I delusional, or this is true? Am I delusional, or this is true? Because your mind has, and you have to keep checking even after your spiritual awakening, because your mind has a way of, showing you things that you want to see. Okay, your mind can do that. Your mind can show you things that you want to see. So so please, take your own time. Take, let it take 50 years. Just be skeptical until it really gets into your face and you're like, no, it cannot be my delusion, it is for real. you know so yeah, I had my spirit guides telling me that no, it's just, I literally, those were my words. So when I saw my kind of people, when I saw that, oh god, they all are so weird, and and everybody had some individual flavor to them. They had some weird individual flavor to them, which is not, I knew this is not programming. I've seen body languages of people, they are so programmed to be a certain body language as well. Have you seen ramp walks? Fuck them. I'm sorry for using abusive words today, but I'm just so much in a mood. I don't know. So, yeah. Have you seen ramp walks? Oh, why would a girl walk like that? I I literally would, wear a pair of slippers and would just drag my feet on on floor and walk like that at times. You know, why would a girl walk like that on a ramp walk? I don't get it. Your body language is also so programmed. They want you to walk like that. They want you to be like that. I don't know what. And why would everybody had the same walk on ramp? I also never got those point as well. Just never got. Like, if I was invited to a ramp walk, I would literally drag my feet. Because why not? Why we have to be a certain way always, right? So yeah, when I really saw all the weird people, their body language is so weird, they are so weird, and they are talking weird stuff, and I was like, wow, that means I'm not weird alone. And at that point, I felt like I was dissolving. I felt like I was one among all these people. I felt so one among all these people. I think that is a real definition of dissolvement. You feel one among the nature, you know. Yeah, you feel one with everyone. But ego wants to stand out. Your, how people would come and say, these are my, how much I've gone through in life. This is what I've gone through in life. This is what I've done. This is what I've achieved. And this is how I do. This is that. But dissolving is like, you never did it, bro, in the first place. You fucking never did it. God did it for you. God made you the medium to do it. You were never doing it in the first place. It was God who made you the medium, brother. It was never you doing it. It was always God making you the medium of doing things. And that is dissolvent, my friend. And a eagle just flew over, and I just want to stop this video now because of certain stuff. Bye. Har Har Mahadev.